Well, it's already been said many times, but thank you so much for all that you gave us, every one of you over here. Gave us really everything, and we really appreciated it. And I hope that you've appreciated all of our 5-minute speeches tonight. and that you know that it really just is how much he and you meant to all of us. From the moment that Nicole Serrano called me on July 19th to tell me the news, I've really been searching for a way to put my feelings into words. As the news spread and the sentiments began to flow, I took cautious steps toward expression, only to find the way blocked at every turn. As I listened to Alan's words at the funeral and Tim's insights, I knew that anything I could offer would be too personal, too raw, too incomplete, to even begin to grasp the meaning that Ross Smith holds for me. If anything remained, it's already been said tonight. How can I proclaim what Ross Smith meant to debate? For 30 years, he occupied a larger-than-life space in the game and community he loved and taught us to love. The paradigmatic assumptions of everyone in this room were influenced by his thinking, and Ross was unique in translating his thinking into action. Everything from the length of rebuttals to the placement of judges bears his influence, and he was never afraid to try something new. Perfect blend of idealism and pragmatism. Ross taught us to live in the present for the future, using the past as a mere foundation to improve upon. It's impossible to describe what he meant to debate, and I was going to read a list of just the people that most obviously are on the coaching tree, but that point's been made time and time again tonight. We're all part of that. And I guess I have a special place in my heart for those students of mine who had to accept the slim, second, shadowy imitation of Ross when I coached them, but for the 5 who got to come here and see the original, Mark Yopp, John Patton, Jamie Carroll, maybe Alex Lambaugh, and Paul Johnson. I think they got the best, because I know that's what I got as well. The list of people that Ross influenced says nothing of the hundreds of debaters and workshop students who've come through Wake Forest, not to mention the coaches and participants from teams all over the country who consider Ross a close friend and mentor. He literally shaped a generation of thinkers and doers, and we're all beneficiaries of his time with us. As I reflect on Ross's life and take my first cautious steps toward expression, it's not merely his innumerable accomplishments that have given me my education, my skills, and my sense of purpose that resonate. It's not what Ross has meant to debate that matters most about Ross. It's what debate meant to him that really remains. Debate at Wake Forest meant that you worked hard and that hard work was always rewarded, but it also meant that you played hard and that was rewarded too. You might not always get exactly what you wanted out of it, but usually your hard work would even yield something new and better than you had imagined in the first place or even hoped for. In any case, it was Ross's spirit in this place that always meant that hard work was respected. Team goals were more important than individual accomplishments, and at the end of the day, how we treated each other mattered more than anything else. There's no better way to describe what debate meant to Ross than in his own words, and even now I hesitate to quote him since one of his favorite tricks with me was to change his mind as soon as I got too comfortable. He knew that if he became too predictable, we would all fall into routine, and routine seldom leads to discovery. But debate's meaning was simple for Ross, and I'm quoting, "Policy is a course of action undertaken by an agent. We are all policymakers every time we decide to undertake a course of action. Most policies are non-governmental. We have an obligation to ourselves and to others to be good policymakers and advocates of good policies when dealing with others in our sphere of influence. Policy deliberation and debate is a method for making and advocating better policy decisions. Intercollegiate debate about public policy is a useful way of teaching the skills needed for successful use of a method of making and advocating good decisions. My whole point was that the real power that matters is with each of our daily responsibilities to ethically conduct ourselves. Debate about public policy is a method of teaching us skills to help us in that inevitable endeavor. Every time we diminish the opportunity to engage in the form of education, we hurt people who miss out. Every round, every program that disappears. End quote. Debate is a method. It's an educational method, yes. It's a problem-solving method for sure. It's a decision-making method. It's a political method. It's an epistemological method and a method of understanding and ordering our very existence. And debate was all of those things and so many more for Ross because it was for him, it was also for us. But debate for Ross was also, and probably foremost, a personal method. So too was Ross. Behind all the work, all the fun, all the intellect, all the memories, Ross was personal. I met Ross, a scared kid at 17. He raised me in almost every way. He taught me it was important to be on time, take my responsibilities to others seriously. He taught me to think before I speak, but never let age or experience keep me from speaking once I have thought well. He taught me confidence and humility. He taught me passion and restraint. He taught me courage. He taught me Wake Forest basketball. And what pro humanitate means without ever uttering the words. He taught me to eat well and take care of others. Pick the wine for my engagement. Love my boys. After the final round of the NDT, I remember thinking, who was responsible for making the flight trip arrangements for the Wake Forest debate team home? They were leaving at 6 a.m. or 4 or something, and the round got over at, 3:30. I had to leave early because I had to go back to work, and I was going to pretend to do something at work that day, and so I was headed toward the planes, but they were coming on at the same time, and then they were coming on the same flight, connecting through Nashville from Austin. And I never even understood that. But I had a last visit at the airport to say goodbye in Nashville. We were talking about charter schools the whole way. And though I could have used his direct input often in the last 4 months, his support is there every day. I'm firmly resolved that within 5 years, an excellent middle and high school focused on debate and an educational method will be chartered in Nashville. I hope that someone in this room is willing to make me a truth teller and not a liar. It will be named the Ross K. Smith Academy if I have anything to do with it. I heard Ross reprise his thinking about debate, which I've quoted many times. But one time in particular stands out. Having stressed the ethical importance of being good policymakers for the benefit of those in our spheres of influence, he said, for example, the most important policy that you can make might be resolved, I will be a good father and husband. And Ross was. Ross was good to all of us. And I don't think it's at all inappropriate to paraphrase another Kennedy and say, Ross Kennedy Smith need not be remembered in death as any more than he was in life, as a good and decent man who saw kids and tried to love them, saw wrongs and tried to right them, saw community and tried to build it.